Alicia is a working woman and mother of a young teen, Malcolm. Busy in her life, she isn't interested in dating anyone who has her entire focus directed at her child, to the extent that the kid feels suffocated by his mom's antics. A guy, Victor, visits his old friend after having his sentence cut short from jail. They seem to have invested in some business together before he was arrested, making Victor demand his money as he is back. As his school ends, Alicia doesn't find Malcolm to pick him up, nor does he pick up her calls, worrying her. Driving around, she finds him and tells him and his friends to get home right away. After threatening the guy with the loss of his money, Victor takes his new car and jewelry in compensation and leaves. After reaching home, Malcolm confesses that he purposely ignored the calls and that Alicia nags him to an embarrassing extent. He even suggests having a father wouldn't have caused this, but Alicia still handles the situation maturely. The next day, Victor keeps an eye on Alicia's sister Cam and goes to her car as she gets inside her office. Alicia gives Malcolm brand new sneakers as an apology for being up his nose all the time. Unfortunately, Malcolm's happiness is lost as he finds the tracker in his shoe right away. Alicia's work bestie, Joe, tries to set her up with her cousin, Darian. But Alicia isn't interested in this stuff at the moment. Later on, Cam informs Alicia about losing her phone and suggests Alicia move on as he won't be back. As if her fears are turning true, Malcolm is playing basketball with his friends when Victor drives there. Victor introduces himself as Malcolm's father, showing him their family picture. When Alicia reaches home, she walks inside, questioning the unknown car in the driveway, not knowing her nightmare is sitting inside with her lifeline. Malcolm happily tells his mother that his father is back, not realizing the shock on her face. Victor acts calm and happy around Alicia, as if he has come back from a long trip. Walking out of the room, Alicia is having a hard time breathing when Victor comes out too. Alicia questions how he came out, and the conversation leads to how Victor stole Cam's phone to find Alicia, since she changed her name and address. Seeing her scared, Victor acts confused because he has changed, and Alicia is supposed to trust him blindly yet again. Victor narrates how spending constant time in the closed walls made him realize he was done with the way of life. He missed his family rather than being a badass and would love to continue that. Alicia is scared and tells him she is happy for him, but she has grown since the past 8 years. Victor, being a manipulator, tells her that they both grew on their path and now have a chance to be a family again. He emotionally blackmails her in the name of her son and how he deserves to grow up with a father. Before she can cut him off with logic, he tells her they should have a family dinner and see how things progress, making it hard for her to deny anything. Breathing heavily, Alicia walks into the bathroom and is having a panic attack. Calling Cam, she tells her about the situation. Cam warns her not to trust that abusive man again, but the problem is not that she might trust him, but how dangerous he is if she straight up tells him to leave her alone. Alicia forces her panic and pain to hide so she can pretend to go with the flow for now. In the restaurant, Victor is almost bragging about how he was the baddest boy in school, and 16-year-old Alicia fell for him, but realizes that's exactly what he is pretending to be ashamed of, so covers in front of Malcolm that it is nothing to be proud of. As Malcolm goes to the restroom, Victor apologizes to Alicia as she tries to tell him that whether he has changed or not, they cannot be the same as before now. Victor tries to tell her to not be afraid of him, but Alicia cannot forget the words and abuses she had to go through, no matter what he does. When he notices she has removed the wedding ring from her finger, Victor starts acting a little strange while holding her hand a little too tightly and questioning how she can do that, as if he didn't used to send her to the ER every other day. Malcolm comes back, making Victor stop squeezing her hand, but Alicia has gotten her message that he is the same. Malcolm ought to be the slowest teen on earth to neither notice the tension nor question his father at all. Coming home, Alicia sends Malcolm inside and then nicely tells Victor that she needs some time to get back on the same pace with him. Victor shows understanding, but even his hug feels uncomfortable and disturbing for Alicia. Coming inside, Alicia is about to break down again, but pulls herself together and tells Malcolm that he should pack his bags as they are leaving. Malcolm refuses to go anywhere and blames his mother for not telling him that his father was in jail, and since she lied before, he won't believe that she is telling the truth that Victor is a dangerous man. Logic leaves the chat when Malcolm steps in. Alicia ignores him and packs the bags. She tells them that they are leaving as soon as she places the bags in the car, not expecting Victor to be standing outside and waiting for her to pull such a stunt. He was already suspicious of her calm behavior. Victor tells her to come with him, but Alicia refuses. He shows her a knife and tells her he'd hurt Malcolm if she doesn't. Alicia quiets down. Victor asks Malcolm to stay alone for a while and the two would talk things out over a drive. The talking is about Victor forcefully taking Alice to the hotel he has been living at and talking about how he has changed and how she should trust him, as if he has the right to make Alicia the test subject of his different personalities. Alicia is shocked to know that Victor is on meds and pills, but the conversation leads to no end when Alicia starts making him realize he hasn't changed much and threatens to hurt his son just because he was mad. Things once again take a violent turn as Victor starts choking her in anger. Alicia gets hung on a random glass piece and hurts him. This triggers the wild animal in Victor. Tying her up, he goes out and throws her stuff in the trash can. There he sees a wooden box and picks it up. Going back home, he is picking a spade when Malcolm comes out. Victor tells Malcolm they'll be going on a trip soon and things are sorted. He takes Malcolm's phone with the excuse that his phone's battery died. Cam has been calling Malcolm and Alicia for a while, but Victor got Malcolm's phone and Alicia is tied up and cannot reach it. After that, Victor drives Alicia into the woods, making Alicia try to jump out of the car and try different ways to escape him, but it's of no use in the lone woods. Victor starts digging the ground, scaring the life out of her, which isn't wrong because soon Victor pushes her into the wooden box, closes it, and buries her alive. As Victor is returning, the owner of the land puts a gun to him, telling him to go back and show what he was doing. But the man who just buried a human alive wouldn't have any issue killing another human. Meanwhile, Alicia is constantly trying to push through every corner of the box with her tied hands. Cam rushes to their house and tells Malcolm that they need to leave. Malcolm is being a brat, but when Victor comes back and Cam tells him they aren't leaving till she gets in touch with Alicia, Victor slaps Cam hard enough to knock her out. Malcolm finally gets a reality check as his father tells him they are leaving. Malcolm doesn't have his phone to call for her, so he sneakily wears the sneakers with the tracker in them. Alicia keeps trying to find a way till she sees a small scraping on the board to her right. Using the key, she starts scraping that wood, even though she is already breathing heavily. Eventually, that piece of wood comes out loose. Pulling out a few more blocks, Alicia starts digging, pulling the mud inside so she can find a way out. The rain is an integral part of making the digging easy. As Malcolm and Victor travel, Victor sees a message from Joe to Alicia. Assuming it's a guy, he makes Malcolm message stupid shit to Joe about leaving her phone. Later on, Malcolm uses the excuse of being hungry to look for help. He goes to a restaurant where children make drawings and put them on the wall there. Malcolm tries to be sneaky to write "help me" on the back of it, but gets caught. Alicia finally manages to get out. Walking away, she finds the dead man, but being in desperate need to save her son, she has to steal his phone and car. Alicia goes straight to Joe's house and explains the situation to her, making Joe realize what the text was about. Alicia calls on her phone, making Victor receive the call in annoyance. He is in disbelief at first, but then shows amusement that she made it out of there alive. Malcolm uses the little time he gets to tell Alicia that he didn't hate the shoes and he is wearing them now. Victor threatens Alicia not to chase them before breaking the phone. Alicia realizes the tracker thing and uses Joe's computer to track them down. She's against calling the police since Victor is dangerous, but when she leaves to follow without informing Joe, Joe is inclined to report the situation to the police. Victor is suspicious about the shoe thing, but Malcolm casually covers that he was messing with her before he was mad at her. Alicia is driving and it takes her the next day to reach the place, only to find the tracker placed on a random tire in that area. Turns out Victor ain't stupid and figured out the situation. Trying Malcolm to the car's steering wheel, he came to deal with Alicia. In other words, kill her. As he threatens Alicia from up close with a gun, she uses his knife to stab him in the abdomen. With that, she starts rushing into the woods, but her leg gets injured. Alicia manages to escape into a church and lock the doors. Victor uses the window to reach her, making Alicia hide in the hall. As Victor looks through the seats, Alicia is hiding in a stage area, hearing his story time about their lives and his arrogance. Eventually, Victor finds her, and Alicia's attempt to hurt him with a candle holder goes to waste. With a gun pointed at her, Victor reminds her they vowed until death do them apart, and is ignorant of how he is the reason his wife and son hate him and couldn't have reversed that no matter what. Before Victor can shoot, police arrive at the location. Victor leaves her and opens the church door, but since he pointed his gun at them, he is shot to death on sight, effectively saving the mother and son. With Alicia and Malcolm free of danger now, they live peacefully with Alicia moving on after a few months.